Force Base. These cigar-shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4.0. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander, had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship, and this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5", these tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had controlled a large portion of the galaxy that we live in. And this was the statement that Ronald Reagan was making to the United Nations when he said that if all the countries on the planet realized that there was a threat from outer space and from an alien civilization, we would all come together. But he was not allowed to make this statement. What I tell you is true, and the gentleman that you had on before, tell him to look up this.
Often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien...
Now we have NASA talking about the so-called aliens, the so-called UFOs that are going to be arriving soon. And like, this cracks me up because I'm like, they said they're 7 foot tall African Americans. They're 7 foot tall African American beings. And I'm like, you know, y'all can leave off the African part because Africa has no true ties to this type of greatness. That's really speaking of the so-called black Americans on America's soil. We're the main subject or the main experiment that these so-called UFOs and the aliens are really observing right now. Really, the UFOs are just the chariots in the sky that are on standby. That are pretty much been watching us for long periods of time. And of course, they're watching the whole world, of course, watching with their activities, what they're doing to us, and it's doing some corrupt things. But like, these chariots really just on standby, and that's what the UFOs are. And the so-called aliens they speak of, like, there's higher beings that work for the Most High, because the Most High controls everything. Everything works for the Most High in His engineering that He designed on this earth, and everything He created, because everything just goes through Him, pretty much, at the end of the day. But it's really amazing to think about, like, wow, like, we have our own intergalactic federation on standby for us. Like, that makes people sit back and just chill, like, wow, we live in Star Wars. Like, we live in a Star Wars story. Like, this is a real deal, like, experience. Like, wow, we have our own rebellion. It's on a whole nother level that nothing can compete with. There's a special type of forces that no man has ever seen before, never witnessed. The energy force that's going to be revealed. Whew, man, it's going to be, it's going to be amazing actually to witness. But, like, for right now, I can think about it. But, like, just to think, like, wow, we're living Star Wars. Like, yeah, I'm a nerd, but, like, just realize, like, this is the real life situation for me. So, like, this is something I always thought about all my life since a kid, like, growing up, watching these certain movies, these Star Wars and, like, this adventure movies, like Indiana Jones, like, stuff that people are on that have a task to fulfill, like, adventure. They go through this intergalactic federation, like, this, just thinking about that, and, like, the adventures that Indiana Jones was on to pretty much save the world, you know. But we're living it. Like, we're the main storyline. We're the main subject. We're the main characters. And that's really amazing to think about. Like, all these movies that are created in Hollywood really was just talking about us. Avatar, like, especially Avatar, Last Airbender, about the elements. We have all the elements. We're the elements. We all the avatars. We got the fire, we have the earth, we have the water, we have the air. It's all within us. all these movies all come from us, because it's really just designed from us, because it's talking about us, our abilities. Yeah, man, it's such an amazing thing. I see why a lot of people always hate us. I get it. I understand. It's all right. I get it.
Of this program, eyewitnesses in Jerusalem report the sky over the Mount of Olives has split open, and there is a black man in the sky.
I'm live at the Mount of Olives, and dear God, the sky has split open. There's a figure hovering in the rift. The military people are running. We don't know if it's angel, demon, or...
We've apparently lost signal with Mark on the ground, but we're attempting to reconnect with our senior correspondent, Andrew, who is positioned closer to the event zone. Stand by.
I'm here at the edge of the... My God, this can't be real.
All praise to YAHAWAH.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, Rakwakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom to my Aki and Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakub coming at you with another lesson. I actually had another one. So, Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. And, let me also get this, Matthew, so I can finally use this. Chapter 25. Verse 31, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. All right, so yeah, this is another thing when Yahawashi returns, okay, and his angels are going to come with him. And you heard that the first out of the 3 videos where you got these red devils talking about saying they saw what's it called, African American 7 foot tall, 6 foot, 7 foot tall men, like militarized and had never been conquered before, having a certain look on them, like that. They were obviously, pissing themselves because they're afraid, seeing like, well, we just treat these people, people that look like them like garbage. So what do you think they're going to do to us as a result of that? All right. So that's a very funny thing to me. All right. And on top of that, as I think it's the second video, the one Jake was basically saying how, or the third video, the Jake was saying how, this is like a whole Star Wars, Indiana Jones, all these different movies and stuff like that, where we're the actual main characters, where we're all the stuff that's happening, we're the center of attention and stuff like that. When it's not necessarily just us so-called black people, it's all the Israelites, which the Israelites is so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as the diaspora that may look like that look like the other nations, not may, but they look like the other nations, but are actually Israelites. All right, so yeah, basically these are the different Israelites that are these are the different Israelites that are the main characters, where we are all the main characters, not just because of our skin color. All right, yes, the angels so happen to look like specifically us, the so-called black, or so-called black people, but it's not that's not always going to be the case. Okay, it's not always going to be, we are specifically because we are Israelites because of our skin color. We are Israelites because of our bloodline. All right. Now continuing on. Basically with the whole angel things, I thought that was very funny that they said that they saw these African American type extraterrestrials, and apparently what's his name, Ronald Reagan. He was basically talking about how he wants all the nations to come together so that they can go and fight this stuff. Well, what's funny is that the reason why he can't say he didn't actually say, we all have to join in together for that, is because he knows that even if he told everyone, number one, if they had told everyone about it, we would not what's the word? We would not join up for that, because of course we're not going to join to fight against people that some Jakes would, but I would hope that the majority of us, even the Jakes that are not in the truth, would not join forces to go and fight against so-called black-looking people. And on top of that, it's just in general, Esau can't do any of his freaking underhanded tactics. Even Esau, he needs to, when it came to beating us, the so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans, especially primarily the Native Americans, all right, and actually the so-called Hispanics, all right. What they did, they couldn't beat them in a straight fight. If you check the history in South America as well as North America, where the so-called Native Americans were, what they always did was they always had to betray them or backstab them. They couldn't actively just beat them in direct confrontation. They always had to, okay, well, let's pretend to be friends, and then when things are working out for us, we go and attack them then to take over them. You think that those angels are going to allow themselves to be deceived? You can't deceive YAHAWAH, right? And they are directly under the order of YAHAWAH, which YAHAWAH knows their hearts, so he knows that they're not gonna, or they're never even going to be given an opportunity to make peace. They're just going to be destroyed. It's going to be a one-sided slaughter. All right, let me actually get that hour. Fuck. Hour.
If you haven't exercised in years, you have to start fighting. Three reasons every man over 40.
Bear with me one moment. I'm trying to find this one thing.
One, it's one of the only workouts proven to help you get longer. Seriously, it's backed by science. Two, just 1 weekend, and you'll notice the difference. Less stiffness, better balance, and more energy, even after lunch.
Okay, Slocky, I'll just read them from here. Revelation chapter 18, verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Revelation chapter 18, verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the companies in ship and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. Verse 18, and they cast dust in their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein they were made rich, all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. So basically, you have these wars that are fought for days and sometimes years. Like I think both the world wars lasted for multiple years. All right. Well, when it comes to this battle with Yahweh, with the YAHAWASHI and Babylon, it's not going to be years. It's going to be just a simple hour, just one easy hour of literal eradication, a one-sided slaughter. All right, that's what's going to happen to Esau Edom when he stands against Yahweh. When he stands against Yahawashi and his angels. All right, and yeah, we already showed that when the Son of Matthew 25 verse 31, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And basically, the holy angels are going to be alongside him and fighting alongside him against the enemy. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 6. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail a child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman travailing child, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So they're going to be afraid of what's going to happen. They're going to be afraid, like, oh my God, I didn't expect this, I didn't know this. And even their men, quote unquote, and when I say men, I say this in quotation marks because a lot of the quote unquote men are not really men. They are they've grown to be cowards, or especially the ones that's going to be going into war. All right, they're not going to be there to actually fight. They're just going to be there as cannon fodder. Okay, if you know what cannon fodder is, basically just someone or something that's just sent off on the front lines to die, just to die, basically. All right, Genesis chapter 32 verse. Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 16 instead, Slakia. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them, and after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. Basically, the Lord's going to send hunters. Okay, basically hunters is like someone to, go hunt. A hunter goes and hunts and kills people and kills animals. So the hunter is going to be hunting our enemies and getting rid of them that are going out and hiding in holes in rocks like caves and stuff like that, and in the mountains like underground bunkers and all that stuff. All right, that's what the Lord is going to set up in place. Okay, be that next. Matthew chapter 26 verse 53. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? Okay, that's another thing where even Yahawashi, he had the power to just call on his Father Yahawah, all right, and have 12 legions of angels, or a bunch of angels, just come and murk all these devils, all these people that are trying to arrest him and put him to death. He could have done that, but he didn't. All right, and that was basically the thing where those 12 legions of angels are going to come and witness or receive that judgment. All right, soon. Okay, soon, when the prophecies come to deliver us. Now, finally, Revelation chapter 12 verse 7, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels. And that's the thing. Michael's one of the angels, and the dragon is Esau Edom. It's not the spiritual demon Satan. It's a physical demon Satan, which is Esau, and it's Babylon. All right, so yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it. This was a very good thing. I even shared this on my community post. I thought it was a good listen. So with that, I pray this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Shem, Yahawashi, Shem, RakwakWadash, double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, Abad Ball, and Shalom.